And now you're telling me some lame story about you going to your friend's house to help her with a boyfriend that's being abusive when you don't even have your life in order. If her boyfriend were being abusive, you would have picked up the phone and called the police. Because witness stated they were listening to music and he heard something that sounded like screaming, so he turned down the music. Witness stated that they heard loud banging and screaming and looked to the incident location and they saw victim one, and victim one is banging on the window and crying. They spoke to the victim. The victim said she was all alone. She was hungry and thirsty. Calling 2024 CR 012173 State versus Estrella Hernandez de Jesus. Could I have parties announced for the record? State.
Rick Pena for the state of Texas.
Defense.
Help for the defense.
And are you Ms. de Jesus?
Yes.
Counsel, have you received all discovery?
I believe I have, Your Honor.
And did you review it with your client?
In today's courtroom recap, we follow Judge Stephanie Boyd as she presides over 2 criminal cases in Behar County, Texas. Although the charges are very different, both hearings focus on accountability, public safety, and the lasting impact of poor decisions. The first case involves a young mother accused of leaving her children home alone, while the second follows a woman charged with evading police during a traffic stop. Let's begin with the first case and examine what happened inside the courtroom.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of abandoning or endangering the intent to the return? That is a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine. State any evidence.
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, state offers into evidence State's Exhibit 1 with all attachments.
No objections from defense, Your Honor.
Okay, state you may be excused. Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
She is 22 years old and she does have these 2 young children. She is not receiving child support currently. Currently, she's been incarcerated for several months. The children have been placed by CPS with her aunt, Maribel Villegas. And as soon as she gets out, CPS has recommended some programs for her to do some services, which she will, as informed me that she is ready, willing, and more than willing and able to perform. So we've just addressed the recommendation by the DA of no contact with the 2 complainants, which are her children. She would like to have at least no harmful and injurious contact or possibly some supervised contact, whatever CPS recommends based on her progress with respect to their plan that they have. She does have a plan for employment once she gets out. That'd be to immediately get with some temporary services and agencies until she can find steady, regular employment. Her last such employment was with Toyota 2 years ago. She had to leave that job because of the commitments that she had with these 2 young children. She was unable to be at work all the time because she didn't have sufficient sitters for the children.
The first hearing involves 22-year-old Australia Hernandez de Jesus, who faces a state jail felony charge for abandoning or endangering a child. Prosecutors explained that she left her 2 young children home alone while she was allegedly spending time with an acquaintance. Concerned neighbors became alarmed after hearing one of the children crying and banging on a window. When they checked on the children, they found them hungry, thirsty, and without adult supervision. During the hearing, the defendant claimed she had been helping a friend, but Judge Stephanie Boyd questioned that explanation and stressed that a parent's first responsibility is always the safety of their children.
Her aunt has stepped up, and that's who should be relying on once she gets out, Judge.
All right. So here's my question for you. Why were you not at home with your children on this day?
So what happened was I had a friend, she came to the house and she lived on the next block. She was going through it with her boyfriend. She wanted me to go help her pack a bag. She was scared that he was gonna hit her. So it was supposed to be a quick
So
thing.
here's my question. What were you planning on doing if her boyfriend were to show up?
Well, he was there, so she was scared of. She was scared that he was gonna break everything in the house and hurt her. So I was trying to help her. Like she
So
felt
how you
safe.
helped her was you left let me make sure my math is right. The offense date is 2024. So you decided, let me go help my friend with her crazy boyfriend and leave children alone who can't even take care of themselves in a house by themselves. And it wasn't just for 2 minutes because Good Talk said that they were thirsty and hungry. So tell me, where does Mr. Adrian Ruiz play into all of this?
He was giving me a ride. He was down the street and he came with me. And we took the car, we went right there on San Fernando, which is on the next street.
No, because in the police report, people are saying that your car was driving up and down the street.
No, Your Honor.
After reviewing the facts, Judge Stephanie Boyd decided to place the defendant on 4 years of deferred adjudication probation instead of sending her to prison. The probation comes with strict conditions. She is prohibited from having contact with her children unless Child Protective Services approves it. She also cannot have contact with Adrian Ruiz Jr., must maintain stable employment, complete court-ordered evaluations, and follow every condition of her supervision. The judge made it clear that these requirements are intended to protect the children while giving the defendant an opportunity to prove she can make better choices.
It's not my car, that was his car. I was at home all
Well,
day.
the people who were in the car, which was you and this Adrian Ruiz person, were driving up and down the street. That's what it says. I spoke to the witnesses. They stated they were outside in the yard having a barbecue. They stated they had seen the above listed car driving up and down the street all day, but had not seen anyone in the apartment or any adults around the apartment from at least 7 p.m. Witness stated the party had been outside since 7 p.m. Witness stated they were listening to music and he heard something that sounded like screaming, so he turned down the music. Witness stated that they heard loud banging and screaming and looked to the incident location and they saw victim one, and victim one is the banging on the window and crying. They spoke to the victim. The victim said she was all alone. She was hungry and thirsty. And then the witness went to the front door to try to see if an adult was at home. And the witness stated the front door was wide open, but the screen door was locked. Witness called the victim to the front of the house and had the victim unlock the door. And that's when they arrived on the scene. So that's what I'm reading. So why are you driving up and down the street with Adrian Ruiz, and who is he to you? Is that your boyfriend? Who is he?
He's my ex-boyfriend now.
All right, so ex-boyfriend now? Was he your ex-boyfriend then?
No.
All right, so this is my problem. You were with this Adrian Ruiz. Is he the biological father of any of these children?
No.
So stop with the nonsense. What ended up happening is you are how old?
Me too.
You're 22. You're still acting as though you're out here in the streets single with no children. And what you have done is you put Adrian Ruiz Jr., how old is he?
He's 25.
He's 25. I guarantee you, he doesn't want to be saddled down with 2 children. And you're riding up and down the street with this person while and your other child who's younger than the 3 are at home starving, don't have anything to drink or any food. Did you have food that day?
I have food, yes.
Did you drink that day?
Yes, so did
They
my
didn't.
children.
Because guess what? These children, some of them drink milk, some may have water, some of them need their diapers changed. I guarantee you their diapers were not changed and their diapers were dirty because the neighbor said that you had not been there and those had been there all day
No, Your
by
Honor.
themselves.
They weren't there by themselves all day. I was there all day with them.
No, they say you were driving up and down the street with your then boyfriend. And here's the thing, I understand things get dicey for young people. They're just like, you know what? I want to live my life. I'm settled with these 2 children and I was putting my dreams and my hopes and my stars and
The second case features Mia Ray Hermia Herrera, who is charged with evading arrest or detention using a motor vehicle, a third-degree felony. According to police, an officer attempted to stop her vehicle, but she refused to pull over right away. After a pursuit, the officer approached the vehicle and reportedly smelled marijuana. Even after stopping, the defendant refused repeated commands to exit the car, forcing officers to break a window to remove her. In court, she argued that she did not feel safe with the officer. However, the judge focused on her refusal to comply with lawful police orders and the risks created by her actions.
my moon on the biological father of these children, he's not stepping up. I'm not receiving child support. And you know what? People should be thinking about that before they start having a lot of children. You understand?
Yeah.
And anything could have happened to these young children.
I understand.
Could have been instead of this nice person who was knocking on the door trying to take care of your children, could have been somebody who's like, hey, this is a cute little baby. And then you would have been on the news screaming, somebody took my child. I don't know where they are. Help me, please. When it was because you were being a horrible mother. You understand?
I understand that.
I don't think you do. I think 2 years down the line, there's going to be another boyfriend. And the reason why I say that is because when mothers have child protective services cases, you know what people always tell them? Don't get involved with any more guys. Concentrate on getting a job, bettering yourself, and taking care of your children. And you know what always happened? During the middle of CPS, when children are being returned, next thing you know, mother has a new boyfriend, somebody from prison that, oh, he's changed. He's a great guy. And in the meantime, you're putting your lives in danger. And children don't get to say, hey, you know what, mom, you're making some stupid decisions out here, and it's going to impact me. People don't care because you're all in your feelings with this Adrian Ruiz Jr. guy. And guess what? If he were a good guy, you know what he would have said? I will come visit you at your house, but you cannot leave infants to take care of themselves. Instead, he didn't. And now you're telling me some lame story about you going to your friend's house to help her with a boyfriend that's being abusive when you don't even have your life in order. If her boyfriend were being abusive, you would have picked up the phone and called the police. Because what are you going to do? Are you going to get over there and fight a guy? No, you're just doing silly stuff and putting your child's life in danger. And I'm going to do this no contact order. If CPS wants her to have contact with her children, then what's going to end up happening is they're going to have to appear. They can appear by Zoom if they want to appear by Zoom and come to me with the child's ad litem and say why there should be a contact order. How far did you go in school?
I got my GED.
And what have you been doing with your life other than having children and driving up and down the street with Mr. Ruiz?
I was going to cosmetology school for a little bit, but I didn't have babysitters. So I stopped going and I started going to Toyota Butex. That's when I was working there for a little bit. I got into this program called Goals. And I was doing that basically. I get monthly payments. I would get monthly payments from them. I had to make goals and I get incentives for completing goals.
Here's the thing. When people decide to have children, they should decide to have children and have plans for who is going to be the babysitter. You understand? There's a $1,500 fine that'll be probated. Proof of employment within 30 days of release. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. TAP evaluation in custody. Follow recs. There should be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs. There should be no contact with Adrian Ruiz Jr. If I could, if it were legal, I wouldn't let you have any contact with any adult male until you get your life in order and put your children first. But I'm not allowed to do that. So no contact with Adrian Ruiz or the complainants, and it will be 4 years deferred adjudication. Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? Here's the thing with CPS cases, if you're not going to put your children first, just let them know and say, you know what, this person can adopt them. I have no intention of putting them first. The man is always going to come first. You understand? Don't waste their time and break their hearts. All right, good luck to you.
Judge Stephanie Boyd sentenced the defendant to 2 years of deferred adjudication probation. The conditions include random drug testing, no driving without a valid license and insurance, completion of 100 hours of community service, and no unsupervised contact with minors. The judge also noted that the community service requirement could be satisfied if the defendant successfully achieves her goal of becoming a flight attendant. The hearing concludes with a reminder that every decision carries consequences. Whether the case involves family responsibilities or interactions with law enforcement, the courtroom serves as a place where accountability and second chances must go hand in hand.